There are about 356,000 empty homes in Albania, roughly 1 in 3, according to the 2023 national census. In the capital alone, nearly 40,000 empty apartments, in a city whose population is falling. And they keep building. 10 years ago, €1 bought 140 Albanian lek. Today, about 93. The euro didn't weaken against the dollar or the pound, only against the currency of one of the poorest countries in Europe. In mid-2026, prosecutors in Albania and news organizations including Reuters, Al Jazeera, and CBS News began setting out why. What follows is drawn from their published reporting and from official court and government sources. Every criminal matter here is an allegation. Everyone named is presumed innocent. One rule of economics, painless version. Sell the world more than you buy, and your currency tends to strengthen. Buy more than you sell, and it tends to weaken. In contrast, Albania has imported more than it exported every year for 3 decades. In 2024, by official trade figures, it exported around $4 billion of goods and imported nearly 9. By the textbook, the lek should be weak. Instead, it's the strongest performing currency in Europe, up about 50% against the euro in a decade. How is this even possible? Here's the paradox in one picture. The red bars are Albania's trade deficit, how much more it buys than it sells, and they get deeper over the decade. The blue line is the euro, and it falls by about 30% against the lek. In almost any other country, those two move together. A bigger deficit means a weaker currency. In Albania, they split apart. The deficit widens, and the euro gets cheaper anyway. One honest note, so no one can wave this away. These are official European Commission and IMF figures, and we're showing the deficit in euros on purpose, because a stronger lek automatically makes euro-priced exports look smaller in the local currency, which would exaggerate the gap. Price it in euros and the divergence is still there. It's real, not an accounting trick. That's the whole mystery in a single frame. Something is filling that gap, something that isn't exports. The official explanation is partly true and deserves a fair hearing. Over 11 million tourists in 2025, money sent home by Albanians abroad, foreign investment, all arriving in euros. The government says that's the whole story, and the International Monetary Fund broadly agrees. So why does so little else in the country add up? By Eurostat's figures, construction is now almost 14% of Albania's entire economy, the highest share in Europe, against an EU average of 5.5%. And it isn't factories, it's apartments. But for whom? Between its last 2 censuses, official data show Albania lost around 500,000 people, from a population under 3 million. In Tirana, annual population growth fell from over 2% to near 0. While the city issued permits for roughly 10 million square meters of construction, 10 years of cranes, and more than 9 in 10 people live somewhere else. Here's the figure that breaks the official story. Of everyone in Greater Tirana, the share living in anything built after 2016 is reportedly under 8%. Supply floods, population shrinks, prices should collapse. Prices rose instead. A market that behaves like that isn't really a housing market. It's something else wearing its clothes. The economist Adriatic Kotori, in a study for the Friedrich Ebert Foundation, added it up. Nearly 11.5 million square meters permitted between 2015 and 2024, worth, by his estimate, over 16 billion euros. Then he traced the financing. Bank loans declared investment. According to that study, less than half could be accounted for. More than 8 billion euros of buildings, with no visible source of funds. As anti-money laundering experts describe the mechanism generally, laundering doesn't hide money, it gives it paperwork. A shell company buys an apartment, and it's recorded as clean foreign investment. A cash business like a beachfront restaurant reports far more summer revenue than it truly earned, quietly pushing dirty cash through the till. and that padded figure is counted as a booming tourism export, not as laundering. National statistics separate declared from undeclared, not clean from dirty, which is one reason economic models can report healthy fundamentals built partly on flows whose origin no one has verified. For years, this was inference. In June 2026, Albania's Special Anti-Corruption Prosecutor, SPAC, brought charges, and international agencies were involved. On the 12th of June, according to the investigative network Bern and Albanian outlets, the special court authorized 20 arrest warrants for alleged money laundering, organized crime, and international drug trafficking. Prosecutors allege a network moved cocaine from Latin America into Europe and laundered the proceeds through Albanian construction. And the files reportedly describe a 2019 meeting in Aruba where, prosecutors allege, the agenda combined drug logistics with land and property deals. Among those named, according to that reporting, were the businessman Artur Shehu, two Tirana construction figures, Ilir Shtufi, reported arrested in Thessaloniki, and Orest Sota, and, as an alleged organizer, Luciano Kocheku. All of them are accused, not convicted. Each denies wrongdoing or has yet to answer the charges in court, and all are presumed innocent. 4 days later, on the 16th of June, a second SPAC operation targeting a network prosecutors allege was led by Shpetim Aliu, reportedly seized assets worth about 150 million euros, villas, hotels, coastal land, and more than 200 bank accounts. Prosecutors allege the money was laundered through construction using shell subcontractors. Again, these are allegations, and those named are presumed innocent. What makes this more than one prosecutor's word is who else was in it. According to the reporting, that operation was supported by authorities in Colombia and Ecuador, and by Eurojust, Europol, and the United Kingdom's National Crime Agency. And separately, the EU's judicial agency Eurojust publicly confirmed a joint Italy-Albania operation in May 2026. 12 arrests tied to a killing near Bari, describing it as the fifth such joint investigation team with Albanian prosecutors since 2018, together yielding over 170 arrests. Then it reached the coast. According to case files reviewed by Reuters and reported by Al Jazeera, CBS News and Newsweek, prosecutors allege that Artur Shehu sold a strip of Adriatic coastline, land earmarked for a resort backed by investors including Jared Kushner, son-in-law of U.S. President Donald Trump, and that the deeds may have been forged. SPAC reportedly froze about 110 million euros from that sale in a notary's account. Mr. Shehu denies every allegation. His lawyer, Kushtim Kakrani, told Reuters his client is neither a drug trafficker nor a forger, that the family had held the land since Ottoman times, and that it is widely assumed in Albania that prosecutors answer to political and business interests. And on the resort's backers, Reuters reported that the case files make no allegation of wrongdoing against Kushner, against Sazan Real Estate Development, or against any investor in the project, and that Reuters found no indication anyone involved knew of any suspicions about Mr. Shehu when the land changed hands. Sazan says it believes the land was acquired lawfully. A SPAC spokesperson separately told CBS News that its investigation does not concern any company associated with Mr. Kushner. So who pays? The average wage is around 850 euros a month. The minimum wage about 500, reported as the lowest in Europe after Moldova and Ukraine. A Riviera room in August now runs 120 to 250 euros a night. A week can cost an Albanian 1 to 2 months' salary, while food alone takes roughly 44% of the average family's income. Albanian prices have climbed toward 2/3 of the EU average while wages lag far behind. In an economy genuinely catching up, prices and wages rise together. Here, prices ran ahead. The honest caveat, and it matters, not all of this is dirty. 11 million tourists did not arrive as a favor to launderers. Albania is still genuinely cheaper than Greece. And some of that unexplained financing is legal but undeclared diaspora money, not crime. No one has produced a hard figure for the criminal share, precisely because it hides inside the clean statistics. Remember the gap in that chart. The deficit falling one way, the euro the other. This is what's been filling it, not exports, not entirely honest money. This summer, Albanians filled the streets. Their sign put it better than any economist: a paradise for foreigners, a living hell for Albanians. 356,000 empty homes, 500,000 people gone. Europe's most construction-dependent economy, and the strongest currency on the continent, floating on money that prosecutors across 3 continents are still trying to trace in apartments where no one will live. At current rates, it would take decades to fill them. Albania isn't running out of buildings. It's running out of Albanians. The people named in this video are accused, not convicted. All allegations come from ongoing prosecutions and published reporting, and each denies wrongdoing or has yet to answer in court. Everyone is presumed innocent. Jared Kushner and the resort's backers are not accused of any wrongdoing, and prosecutors have said their investigation does not concern any company associated with Mr. Kushner. This video is journalism and commentary, not legal or financial advice.